What's happening? It's your boy Elijah Blake, and you're watching Music Exclusives TV right here.
Out of my head, out of my brain, chasing after love that I know it's been days. You're just a ghost of my past that keeps coming back, but never comes back. Ghostbuster, I think I just...
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Marie Driven, and you're watching Music Exclusive TV. Today we have the two-time Grammy singer and songwriter, Elijah Blake. What is up?
What's happening? Sac passé.
Não pule o cheio. Que tal, fella?
Nou lá. Haiti cheio.
Straight Haiti right here. It's Haiti right here.
This out.
This is like mad exciting right now. You know, I love this. This interview gonna be pumped real quick.
We out here.
So what's going on? So I heard you have like a new project, and I love it because it's titled Elijah.
Period. With the period.
With a period.
Yeah.
So this is all about you, letting people into your world.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that. But I really thought I was gonna see a bald blonde man.
Like say bald, it was a brush cut.
I mean, some
Yeah, that was
whatever y'all want to call it.
Yeah,
I call it bald.
It's always interesting, like how artists we transform before people kind of get to see it.
Yeah.
Because for me, that project is so long. I did that project 2 years ago.
Yeah, like it was like right after the pandemic.
Right after the pandemic.
Yeah.
So right after that, I was not feeling that character anymore, and I started growing out my hair, and then I went into the braids, and then you go through that ugly phase, and then you let the braids grow. Now I can do the plaits, and
you could do everything.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I gotta remember, people are the last images that were circulating that are still probably on some of my socials was the blonde moment.
Okay, so we're talking about the blonde moment right now. We're gonna go back into that. But Elijah, when I was reading about you, it says Elijah, Dominican Republic, moved to Los Angeles. Haitian, yeah.
Haitian, come on.
And tell people the story. Like, what happened?
So my parents, I wasn't even born in the United States, actually.
Wow.
People always be like, "Are you a real Haitian?" I'm like, no. We cook Creole and tasso and all that. But what I think the biggest misconception about our people is that we are a very colorful group of people.
You're right.
And I used to get so upset, growing up, when people be like, "You don't look Haitian." I'm like, "What does a Haitian look like?" You know what I mean? Actually, the Haitian side of my family, if it's a colorism thing, they're lighter than the Dominican side, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just because we are a melting pot of French and Taino Indian and Latin culture, so to me it was all the same. But depending on who you ask, I'm sure maybe certain publicists I've had in the past have worked a certain angle more. But I'm very much Haitian.
I love that. I love that. So that means he knows how to cook, y'all, because...
No, pas qu'on fait manger.
What?
No, I can't cook.
Oh. Sorry, I had the wrong perception. Some Haitian men know how to cook, you know what I'm saying?
I know what good food tastes like. Actually, Hoodie, where did we go last night?
Which one?
We went to... Oh, wait, I have to say this because I want to always highlight this. Le Soleil.
Oh, Le Soleil. Okay, Le Soleil, c'est bon. Okay.
Yeah, I had a trick. You need to go to in Brooklyn, but it was really bad.
Nah, you need to go to Brooklyn. You fall in on John with Chef Wesley, mon cher.
You know what? Stacey Barth took me there before.
Okay, so you mean because he just renamed it. It was Zami first. Right there on No String.
And you kind of you walk up and get your food. It's kind of like alley cart.
No,
okay,
it's
so that's not where I went.
No, you need to. We gonna set you up.
Okay,
we gonna
please,
set you up.
Take me there.
We gonna do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So let's go into your project before this project, right? So you're fashionable.
Thank you.
Galore.
Thank you. Cool.
I mean, I don't even understand why you're not on all these campaigns. GQ call him. You know what I'm saying? GQ call his phone. I love your style. I know that you have the same stylist. I don't even know if you have him right now as Doja.
Yes.
Okay, great. He's awesome.
Yeah. Sam Wolf. Shout out to Sam Wolf.
And I was looking at some of the people you work with, which I'm very excited about. And one of my favorites is Rihanna and Britney Spears. I'm sorry.
And Ree's an island girl too, so that's just natural.
Yes, it was natural. And I like the fact that you worked with JoJo. I like that because obviously the record was for Kalani, and then you guys switched it up a little bit.
How do you know this?
Come on, what do you think I am?
Wow. I thought I'm the only one with Kaylani's version in my phone.
No.
Oh wow.
No.
Okay.
So you know.
How do you know that?
Oh my God, I'm good at what I do.
Oh no, MusicXclusives is the CIA. Y'all the ops. Y'all the because that messed me up a little bit. Like,
I'm serious. I'm like really good at what I do.
one of my favorite movies is Coming to America, and my favorite line is when he goes, "Who told you that?"
Oh my God.
Goes, he's not
Yes,
the friend.
yes.
He's the friend.
That was the original. You know, the original Coming to America was way better than the one that just came out.
Oh,
They watered this new one.
Certain things, I'm no knock to the new cast of Coming to America, but certain things are just so incredible and meant for that time. It's just hard
I
to
know. You can't just, just like we doing what is it, Mental Society and having new characters that doesn't
And
match
society as a whole right now, they're just too sensitive for that type of humor.
Oh, during the pandemic, it just changed a lot. It shifted everybody. It's
for
just,
better or for worse, right?
Yeah,
because
it does.
in certain ways, I do think people of color were consistently highlighted in not the best way, but also the way we were able to take that and laugh at it was also magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's
it's
what
true.
made Coming to America amazing.
I know.
As a society.
It does. Okay, so you worked with all these amazing people, wrote for them, and on your recent on your project back then, you had the famous number 10, the perfect number 10, and one of like my favorite guys that you worked with on that was Trinidad.
Yes. Who's also
because
super fashionable.
He's super fashionable, and he did help co-style the video.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm looking into him. I'm like, all right, we know he wear the hair with the curls.
That was supposed to be the moment. So originally on that record, it was St. John and Trinidad James. This is something I've never spoken about before. So that's music exclusive. So this is.
Ooh.
But I wanted that visual to be like black fashion. Like I don't know why I wanted it to feel like Pootie Tang meets Shaft meets
I love it.
Love Jones, all those things. So when I originally reached out to St. John, and then he sent his verse, and I heard his verse. I loved it, but just how things worked out and the timing of the record it didn't end up that way. But the way Trinidad pulled up on the record and to the video,
It was
the
perfect.
job was done. Yeah, and that's my boy till this day. Like I really appreciate what he represents.
Nice. All right, one thing I really love about your story is you never paid for a feature.
No.
Everything was organic.
Yeah.
You know how hard that is?
I know, but I try to do. I try to do good by people. It was a time when Ross was charging $175 a verse, and he did the verse to the song I had, and I was like, bro, I ain't got 175 bands to give you. He was like, what you talking about? Like, do right with it. You know what I mean? Those are things that always stick to my heart. I've never spoken about this, but that's what happened with the Tiny Desk thing. Like I wasn't prepared. Like it was just kind of one of those things where Ross never called in a favor for me before.
Okay.
And I didn't know what we was doing, but I just know I had to show up for my friend who showed up for me.
Okay.
And I chugged a whole bottle of Belvedere and was like, if this shit going down in flames, we gonna have a ball.
Well,
So,
you know, he was the perfect one for that one.
Yeah, yeah. And then, I can laugh at it now, but those are the things that, eventually, like one day, like I'll make it right. You know what I mean? Like I'll definitely, like me and Ross will do a better performance that's more planned out and more thought out. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure y'all will.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's fast forward. I know like I know two of your favorite albums. People like album Thriller and is it Purple?
Purple Rain.
Yeah. And that the fashion from before is elevated a little bit, right? It's a little bit more, I want to say, cleaner. And I know back then, you had the inspiration. You really, really like Prince, so that's your that's there. It's right there. It's like, okay,
That's my musical father.
And oh my God, Peter Guns will tell you the same too. He loved Prince. He loved Prince.
I call him Faja.
So what really inspired you about Prince? Like, what do you like about him?
I'm just a big fan of. I'm super inspired by duality, And I just think the way he was able to play with masculine, feminine energy, but still it be bold, fearless. I just think everything needs an opposite. And when you can make those two things that are polar opposites harmonious in a way, that's where magic can exist. Because there's a fearlessness and there's a boldness, and people can find freedom in you as an artist. And so when I tell people like Prince is my favorite artist, they'll like start to sing like a deep cut or an unreleased song, and I'm just like, I'm not that type of
right.
Like, you know what I mean?
They don't even get it.
It's
a
more
whole,
so what he embodied, what he represented. Never really, like, it just takes a certain type of person for Michael Jackson, the biggest artist in the world, to call you for a feature and you say no on a song. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anybody else that existed on this earth that would have said no when Michael Jackson calls you and that says, I have a record for you to jump on. But the guy said no.
I know, and that would have been a perfect collabo. But, you know, he had his own swag. He had his own thing. He just didn't want, you know how you didn't want no, like this album you got right now is just Elijah,
and I'm
period.
slowly, you know, I always wondered, like, damn, will I ever get in that space and just naturally, just through my own path, have found that audacity? And that's what this project is, and that's what the stories I'm telling is just like taking ownership and accountability and how people have, you know, ways I'm sensitive in how people treat me, and also how I treat other people. Okay. And I'm more cognizant of it now, you know what I mean? And just taking accountability in terms of things I've internalized. So I'm talking about my traumas with my biological father.
Okay.
And just how strict and militant Haitian fathers are. And ways that I felt like I could never be able to express myself, and now I can. Okay. Through the love of my stepfather, who's completely different. He's Trinidadian. Okay. So they're calm and they teach in love, and they don't have to like spank you or whoop you because you don't even want to let them down because they believe in you so much. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And just my stepfather, just the idea of me breaking his heart would like break my heart. You know what I mean? So it's just a different way that I'm learning, and I'm learning how to handle people in that way, because I feel like my stepfather's was more effective into growing me up as a man, you know what I mean? Bringing me up in that way. Okay, I love it. Shout out to your stepfather. Yeah, shout out to David Abraham. I know he's watching.
Okay, so you're about to drop Ghostbuster, right? What is the meaning behind Ghostbuster? Because you're saying you're storytelling, you know, things that happen to you. You're letting people into your world. Yeah. What is Ghostbuster? Because when I get goosebumps when you say Ghostbuster, like, you know. So what is that? Like,
I'm glad the first time I'm speaking about this is with someone who understands superstition, the superstition that comes with Caribbean culture, right? So it's talking about how until I deal with certain things from my childhood, I'll just keep dating the same person over and over again in a different shell. Certain things that, like, I've recently learned that I can't even deal with a lie. Like, I can't, if you lie to me and there's a reason for it, and then I could be like, okay, I can see why you didn't want to share that. But if you lie to me and you didn't have to lie to me, and then you stand and you double down on that lie, I will never trust you. Because I don't feel like I'm somebody you have to lie to. Okay. I feel like I try to show friends, people I do business with, past relationships, like, yo, like, I try to come in super exposed. So when somebody does that to me, then it's no longer a safe space. You can tell me the sky is blue, and I'm going to be like, oh shit, it's fucking green today.
What's your sign?
I'm a Gemini.
Me too.
Yeah, so it worked. It worked.
That's what I'm saying, because I was like, hold on, he sound like me.
Yeah, so you understand.
Yeah, I get it.
Where people will be like, and then also I've learned that people who make excuses make me crazy, because my mother was a Caribbean woman that worked 3 jobs. Yes. And to the point where kids in my school thought I was rich. I'm just like, no, I just have a hard-working mother. Y'all mamas don't do that. You know what I mean? No. And I never felt an absence either. Like, she tried to apologize recently. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I never felt the absence of a mother. You checked on me. You were always there. Anything I wanted. She did her best to make sure that her kids weren't statistics. And when you talk about the fashion, I attribute that to my mother, because coming from the islands, and then people don't know West Palm Beach is like, at one point, I don't know if it is still now, but it was like home to like 70% of the world's billionaires, like extreme wealth, right? And she used to be a nurse, a RN at the Breakers Hotel, which is like where Donald Trump and Oprah go to have breakfast and stuff like that. So her being a nurse, it only took one time. You know, Haitians, they don't like people to make them want. Yeah. Like, don't. Can't be want. No. We're big, we're prideful people. And I think she was a personal nurse to somebody, and like they had a gathering, a get together, and they were like, oh, who's this pretty lady that's over there in the corner? And they didn't think she understood, because her English wasn't developed that well, and they referred to her as the maid.
Oh,
so,
God.
you know, after that, my mama showed up dressed in Louis Vuitton and the highest fashions, because it was what she was saying is, don't you ever get it fucked up. I'm not the help.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's hard to. So the first time I was exposed to Louis Vuitton and Dooney and Burke and Gucci and this Gone with the Wind fabulous fashion was through my mother, because she knew if I was gonna exist in this space, I never wanted to look like the help.
Okay.
So that was her way of taking a stance in the room and showing that she approaches herself with a certain level of respect and regard.
Yes,
so that's my relationship with fashion is through my mother, because everything was grand and big, but that's what she was exposed to. Like, we're not talking millionaires. She was working with billionaires in their home, and now she's internalizing like the plates, the china. So that's what we had in our house. Everything was like grand, to the point where my friends were like, and I remember when I was going off and when Atlantic was trying to sign me, and she was like helping me pack my bag. She was like, baby, you have to make this work. You have to make this work, because I played a part, for better or for worse, into exposing you to a lifestyle that it's impossible.
You can't go back.
To go back from. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the reason you like nice things. So I made sure she got her Range Rover. Like, now she drive to church, and she got a better car now than the people she worked for. Like, her patient now was like, why do you show up every day like you show up in a Range Rover? I got her a Range before I got me a Range, you know, and her Range is still nicer than mine. She got the full size. I got the Sport.
That's nice. I love these type of stories.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get more.
Oh, I meant to. Okay, I'm sorry.
Because I'm still.
Okay, so those type of traumas, and also the superstition. So when you saw the video, like, I wanted to play off of that, because, like, you know, you hear about Lugawu growing up. So that's why I watch those type of movies. I'm obsessed with like ghosts and like, you know what I mean, and spirits, and because that's the folklore that we were brought up under. Right. And where it's like it's a thing of the imagination for most people, like it's very real to us, because somebody can go missing in Haiti and they're like, yo, two niggas shot, like they've turned them into a cat.
You don't even know. They probably there's the cat.
Like my mama was like, you can't stay over your African American friend's house because y'all must yell. Like, they might be.
I know. My parents is very like, good. My parents is very weird. Like,
No, tell them to come stay over here.
Yeah, like, tell them to come over here. Yeah, and then their parents probably thinking the same thing.
Yeah. So I wanted to play with all I just don't want to run or even leave room for my culture to be misconstrued anymore. Because like you said, like, some people don't even know I'm Haitian.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, because also we did an interview here with Florence, and I asked her, why did you expose the Haitian voodoo culture on TV? And she said, because it's my culture and people need to understand why I did that. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So I respect the fact that you come here and you're like, I'm putting this into my music, you know, and people have to respect you because of your accolades and who you are as a person. And, you know, the people you have touched and you had collaborate with. So this means a lot to me as a, you know, a Haitian American, you know, that when they look at us sometimes, they just look at us like we're like nothing, you know? And then here you come, you know, you're this grand person that your mother actually helped you, you know, to be by showing you things that she told you, basically, you can go get it. Yeah. You know, a lot of parents don't even instill that in their kids. Yeah. So they out here stealing, they doing all the stuff that they don't need to. Because if you just give them a little something to have hope in, they'll become you.
Thank you.
You know, so I really appreciate that.
Thank you. That actually really just touched me.
It's real. It's real.
You know, because I remember a time where it wasn't cool to be Haitian.
I know.
Out of nowhere, I feel like, I don't know, around the pandemic, now everybody want to be foreign. Like, it's like I'm foreign, and now people are making it up. It's
like, they love it.
It's like, your last name is Johnson.
Right. You speak no Creole. Stop saying sakwa saying.
Like, if you don't get.
Right. But I mean, it's cool. They want to embrace us now, so let's just hug them.
But they literally used to come to school and try to beat up the Haitians.
I know.
And I remember, like, one time I said the term Dominican, and somebody was like, what is that? Like, you know what I mean? So I just love that the islands are getting love, and I just think representation matters. So I want to highlight all of it, every bit of who I am, every part of it. It doesn't have to be one or the other anymore. And so I want to speak more Creole in my interviews. I want more things like this, and I just think God is moving, and I say He's playing Tetris because to me it's no coincidence that my first interview for this project is with you guys.
Right, right.
And then guess what? Here's something even crazy, completely unplanned. I just found out that the premiere for the remake of the Ghostbuster movie comes out the same day as the single.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that crazy?
I love that. So then you better make sure that the PR person is planning.
Oh, yeah. We on it. Did you know that?
Still in place. Okay, I was like, still that light, honey. Still that light.
She listened.
All right, good. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And also send it to sync. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know,
send it
like,
sync.
put it in the movie.
Put it in the movie. I want for that.
My song in the movie.
Right.
I mean, it's ready. It's mixed and mastered.
Right. So the project Elijah, how many songs does it have on
This
it?
one is 12.
12.
I wanted it to be 10 so bad. I wanted it to be 10 so bad.
So all 12 is a piece of you?
Yes.
Okay.
And this project is so it's like a chronological walkthrough of who I am today, and that's why I couldn't narrow it down because I wanted it to be 10. But if I removed one, it was like a Jenga piece. The rest would collapse.
Okay.
So you're getting 12 stories that are going to prepare you for the next version of me. You know, because it's ever evolving, and it's you know, it's one of those type of it's just a chapter, and I'm excited to get to the next one.
Okay. I hate asking artists this because they be like, I can't tell, I don't know. So you have 12 tracks.
Yes.
What is your favorite?
It changes. I know, and the answer is going to always be the same. But right now, it really changes. But Rainbury Woods, that's the street I grew up on.
Okay.
She loves that one too. It's the street I grew up on, and it's the opening track of the project, and it talks about my mother. And there's my favorite line in the song, and she said, "If I'm gonna be a bag lady, it's gonna be a Louis or a Birkin."
I love that.
And that's how I remember my mother. It's just like, okay, like it's gonna always be the nicest. Like, why can't I? Like, why not? She was never a why me person. It was always why. Even now, she still has the audacity. Like my sisters be trying to check her. She's like, no, why not me? You know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah.
She makes a valid point.
And it's just the country, there's like a country undertone to it. That again, these are things I used to kind of run from because I was like that awkward kid. Like I work out listening to gospel music and country music.
No,
so
nice.
I'm very churchy, but I also love the storytelling in country music.
Okay.
And I kind of was just like, damn, like I was with the producer, like, can we make this? I love starting songs on the guitar because I can play that a little bit, like the acoustic, a little bit just to find my way. And I was telling the producer, like, can we try to make this more like less country? But I didn't like it, and he kind of went back to it. So seeing Beyonce doing that is just kind of like it definitely helped me have a sigh of like, okay, like
that's good.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not the only one who notices the similarities in this dichotomy or like the marriage that also exists with soul music and country music, you know, and gospel and church and how all that kind of comes together in like a melting pot in a pot of gumbo. So that to me is my favorite right now.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you guys, you heard it. 'Cause I gotta go listen to it too.
Yeah, it's about the street I grew up on.
It's about the street. So what about the street that was so important that you was like, you know what, let me just...
You asking all the right questions. I went back from my sister's graduation, and I had the rental, and I just was like, let me just turn down this street. You know, this is the street I grew up on. It's my earliest memory. And the house, I'm like, this little yellow house was, because in my mind, when you're a child, the hallways just seem endless. The house just seemed way bigger. But that's because my problems were smaller. And the weight of the world was smaller. So I'm like, is this the little room that me and all my siblings shared? It just seemed bigger, and I still remember it that way in my head, and that's the beautiful thought. So I wanted to write a song about that. Like,
that's nice.
It was so beautiful. But I'm looking at this little house. I'm like, this is not the house. I literally was like, I drove past it like 3 times. Like, where is the house?
You said you had to put glasses on to
yeah,
see
like,
the house.
is that my house? Like, what did they do to you?
Wow.
Yeah.
And where's that?
It's in Florida, Delray Beach,
okay.
Florida. Yeah,
Okay.
Florida.
So when did you guys move up from?
Delray to Boynton. It's like a 10-minute. You drive 10 minutes and you're in Boynton. Like, that's the thing is in Palm Beach County, like, they're really close. And I believe Ariana grew up in Boca, which is another 10 minutes in the opposite direction. So, yeah, I kind of grew up in all those areas, like Delray Beach, Boynton Beach, West Palm Beach. You know, my mother was always like, she always figured it out, but that doesn't mean it was without error. Like, there were times when we had to like live in like less nicer areas, and there was a time we were the only black family living in this place called the Yacht Club, and that's when I really dealt with racism. That's when I was really like, oh, like because I've had a really great relationship with like white people. Like you know what I mean? Like sometimes better than my own people.
Right.
Like I've really always throughout life my mother just always made sure I was like articulated. Like she made sure I was in all honors classes, and it was important for her for me to be able to speak my mind and be understood and be received that way. So I just think that I wasn't afraid of other cultures like some of us unfortunately are taught to be, but have to teach ourselves to be because of different experiences. But that is a point in my life where I was like, oh, like I'm kind of in danger. Like I remember one time I was like walking with my friend home from school to this neighborhood, and the police like just pulled me over. I was like, what are you doing here? Like, what? And my friend kind of like bucked on him, was like, what are you talking about? Like, he lives here. He actually like, they live in the first house like in this neighborhood. And he was like, don't let me see you again.
What?
Yeah, like, yeah. So the Trayvon Martin thing really affected me so deeply because I was like, oh my God, like, how many of those experiences did I like barely make it out of that I didn't even know? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
could have been me. It's one.
You
of
know,
those
so
things.
crazy. My little brother, he's in Daytona now, and he's a Gemini too. So he was out. Like he came to stay. He was like, I'm out, and I fear that same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't know, like, because you guys are targeted first.
Yeah.
Right? A female, we targeted, but we get it long. We get away with it. We could smile. We could, you know, and it's just like, it hurts so much to even see that happen, you know? Yeah. So I'm happy that you didn't have to, you know, go through something extremely tragic. Yeah. All right, so let's bring it back to the album. So when is the expected date? You said Ghostbuster, but you know,
Ghostbuster, can I say? March 15th.
Ooh,
March
okay.
15th. We out here, we outside.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. So you're not with Def Jam. Who are you signed to?
So I'm with MNRK.
Okay, MNRK.
Which is all I would say is I got the deal that I always wanted. It's a partnership between
your label.
Is a big thing, for me. It's a partnership between my label and them, and I feel the same support that I did with the major.
And this time you get to control who you choose.
Yeah, and they're not over. I don't feel no knock to Def Jam because honestly, like now I'm so past it. Like, of course, when you're coming out of something, you can be a little bitter. You can feel a certain type of way. You can feel wrong. You can feel betrayal. All types of stuff. I'm not there no more. Okay. Like I actually appreciate the beautiful, like in ways that they did help me. And I just think that, you know, a lot of artists like. Your first deal is where you develop. Lady Gaga left Def Jam and became Lady Gaga at Interscope, right? She was Stephanie there, and like so many artists. So I'm not in no way excited to like put them down anymore. Like before, you ask them like, them motherfuckers.
No, that's happening to every artist. They be so sad. They be like, oh my God, like I'm over them. But it's always process and growth, right? Yeah. If you don't go through that, you won't know. Yeah, and I knew what deal I wanted. And we were sitting down with majors before I signed this new situation because being independent, you do kind of miss the muscle and like I was used to my videos looking a certain kind of way and I kind of missed that. But the MNRK thing kind of provided all of that for me. And they believe in me and it's a team. You want to feel safe in like an incubated space while you're getting ready to bring this music, which is your child in so many ways, into the world. And we have conversations like friends. I know everybody's gonna try to sign here now that I said that, but like leave me alone. Let me get my stuff out first. But I really feel the same level of like machine that I had with a major, but with the freedom as an independent artist. That's dope. That's dope. So with me, you know, I love your music, but what's up with our fashion world? Are we gonna get into something? Are you doing fashion week and September? Like, what are you doing?
Completely not planned. A good friend of mine is Joshua Simmons, who used to be editor-in-chief at Elle Magazine and Harper's Bazaar.
Nice.
And he pulled the most amazing, I call it a power move, for this video. It was last minute, but we got Saint Laurent to provide a lot of the looks for it, but then also last minute. I've never even been to the Celine store. I think I might have like once, but the suit that I had on is all Celine head to toe. So I just think that's a beautiful thing, right? Yeah. Representation matters. Seeing ourselves in certain spaces dressed, and that's why at the end you kind of see all my trauma show up to judge me. whether it's past relatives, exes at the end of the video, but they're also dressed to the nines, almost in like a black Met Gala type of thing, because that's what your trauma does. Is it shows up as a different type of insecurity where it's not you, you're blaming everybody else. But sometimes it's just a reflection of what's going on in here. So the fashion is a huge component this go around. I'm not even gonna come outside if everything don't make sense.
I want to see you Milan. I need Paris.
I need all the things.
I need September. I need to see you because you have this style that is just. I speak to a lot of people. I'm a fashion girl first. This is what I do. I come from fashion first. Yeah. And when I look at you, you're advanced. You're ahead of your own self. I don't even think you know that.
I leaned in on the fashion so much, especially after when I first went independent, because I just think that's what naturally happens when you feel confined and restricted for so long. And there were so many things I couldn't say. I didn't know if I could speak on. So I just was expressing myself through how I dressed and wanting to be received. And I felt like there was, before I put anything on in a past situation, there was like a call with 20 people on there. Like, should he wear this? Should he do this with his hair?
Oh, wow. That's
so
a lot.
Yeah, it was just a lot. And you just lose yourself in it. And I just wanted to just take ownership of that. Right or wrong, good or bad. If it was a good decision or not, I wanted to just fall on my own sword. So there's a lot of expression going on, but I definitely feel this go around is more elevated.
Okay. Well, you know what I do? I like the fact that this time around it's your project, right?
Yes.
Because as a Gemini, sometimes we can't take too much people in our stuff.
No, it makes me crazy, and I got ADHD, so it's just like
it'd be like too much going on. So just showing people who you are.
Yes.
What you have accomplished.
Yeah.
The story behind Elijah, right?
Thank you.
So March 15th, I am so excited. I can't even wait. I'm streaming. I'm streaming definitely. I'm your supporter, right?
Please support
right. My fellow Haitian. I can't even play with you like that.
Just
I
put
can't.
a replay in the house.
So are you in a relationship? What's going on with you?
No, I'm freshly out of one, and that's how I was able to. You know what I noticed? I started when I was 16.
Okay.
And things kind of happened really fast for me. Like once Jupiter Love took off, then it was Climax, and then it was Rihanna, then it was all these things. And when I jump into certain relationships, it's hard for my significant other to find their identity in it sometimes, not all the time. And I've noticed, this is not blaming anybody else, I shrink myself a lot of time in relationships because I would love it for us to be equal in that way. So now I'm kind of like, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once it kind of does happen, I'm kind of like, okay, well, my job is done. And then like, what do I do now? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this go round, I just really want to deal with my trauma, so I'm not dating the same person over and over.
And that's why you said you keep on dating the same person in just different ways.
Yes.
But it's the same person. So what does the same person look like?
One consistent thing that I've seen is like, I don't know, because I'm just like super like outgoing and like loud, and if I'm in the room, you're gonna know I'm here.
Yeah.
I feel like I attract a lot of like depression.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know I would just think, if you think about opposites, like if you see somebody that's naturally happy, maybe the thought is like, okay, well, that'll distract me from like, I don't know. But I just don't want to, I want to not always be the one that's like doing the lifting on the depression side, because maybe I've realized that can also lead to me feeling down in a way.
And you can't afford that.
Yeah, if you're always trying to light the flame,
mm-hmm.
where is the flame that's going to light your candle when your fire is burning low?
Right. And then as a creator, you can't be the one to even light people candles too much, because you lose yourself within that process.
For sure. And then I deal with it because I feel like I give so much, and then the betrayal is like heavy. Like, you know what I mean? Like when it's over, I do feel betrayed. I don't know if I feel like that's maybe something like that's tied to my relationship with my biological father.
Okay.
Because he kind of was just like, there. He wasn't an absent father. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he kind of tried. He would find me when my mom would switch us with schools. You know, like, I don't know if she was being petty or just felt like figure it out.
Now, she was trying to run away too.
You know what I mean?
She said,
but he would find me. So he wasn't like an ain't shit ass nigga.
Yeah.
But I still feel like, damn, like you could have tried harder. You know what I mean? So I think in relationships, because I always feel like I'm trying, or at least I think so. When I don't feel like you're trying as hard as me, I'm kind of like, I do feel betrayed, and I take that like very, very heavy. So that's something I got to deal with that. You know what I mean?
You got to deal
like,
with that because that's how in order for you to hit, because one thing we do as Geminis is that we just pile it on. We don't just say forget it. We just like, all right, well, you gone. Okay, maybe you came and you did something nice that the person didn't do before.
Yeah.
Come on, let's come.
Yeah.
And that's not it.
And then it explodes, right?
Then and when the person asks it, why you acting like that with me? You wasn't like that before, but they don't get it.
Exactly, because it's a consequence of everything that I've kind of like let slide, and then it's like don't fucking play with me,
right? Playing in my face, like
yeah. So I'm like, Elijah, take this time, be single, really, really, really heal, because I'm not an outside nigga like that. Like, I really think about the white picket fence, the wedding, the marriage, the kid.
Nice.
That's really who I am.
And they say men Gemini don't even do that.
Yeah, so but I'm Haitian. You know,
it's different.
You cook for me, and I'm like, I love you, baby.
I love you, hold on, wait. You say you cook for you? What happened?
You cooked for me one time. I love you, baby.
Ladies, you hear that?
No, I don't want to say too much, but I had an ex-girlfriend, like, around the time where I Just Wanna came out. I think it was around I Just Wanna. We broke up like twice, and she would make this salmon that was, and she knew that was gonna get me back. I remember one time we fell out so bad, and like she didn't even call and apologize. She just hit me. She was like, "I got salmon." I was like, "All right, I'm fine."
Look, he got tricked by salmon.
That salmon was so good, and my crazy ass, I was like, if I get back with her, I'm gonna find that recipe.
You gonna shoot?
Man, she knew, cause I remember she was making the salmon, and I was like in the kitchen, like trying to have a conversation. She was like, "So how was your day?" Like looking at the ingredients. She's like, "Yeah, it's a family recipe." I was like, "You know that salmon is why I came back."
Wow.
Oh, that salmon was good. I think about it.
Now you made me want to taste it. Where she at?
She married now.
Oh, okay. But, she still can make the salmon though. You know what I'm saying?
That salmon was good.
Okay.
I'm like, nigga, you really got back together twice over salmon. Like, you ain't shit.
Nah, see, you really love your food. You love your stomach.
I love food. I love
your stomach. And but you a workout guy too. You have a workout routine because you know I did look at you with no shirt on.
You feel me?
What I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got tattoos, so look at that. Okay, so you know you don't play about your body. I know that for a fact because of the fashion, because you don't want to look, big belly. Somebody with an
honestly, me working out started because of a complex. Like, I was always so skinny, like growing up.
Really?
I was always so skinny. I couldn't hold no weight, and I just hated that about myself. And I just would try to get in the gym. Actually, people would be like, "Damn, you look so different now," but they don't know that I was skinny fat. That's a real thing, by the way. I used to just drink protein shakes, hoping that I would put on any type of weight, and all it did was go to my face and make my head big.
Oh my God! Now you call me bobblehead?
Yeah. But now I work out for a mental thing. Like, it gets me ready for the day. It helps me deal with my problems. Like, if I don't work out, I get like anxiety.
I feel you on that.
So now, I get the benefits are a lot on the physical side, but the mental and spiritual and emotional connection that I make with it is beyond anything I can gain physically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to end this, but I had to test you before.
I hate that we're ending it because I'm having
I know I'm having a good time. Like, it's just like, oh my God. Like, I
love us, man. I love our people. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. I gotta do that.
Okay, so let me pull out my phone real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a singer, but I'm gonna sing for you today.
Okay, sing.
So we're gonna bring this back to 8 years ago.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
Let's see if you know your own stuff.
Okay, let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? And this is with a feature too, but
I know you can sing because I hear a rasp.
Nah, don't play with me. Okay, so let's do this. Yeah, so I get it right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have my little lemon juice.
Let's go.
Okay. Ooh, now I'm embarrassed. Okay, so it goes like this. You know what's up. Pour another in my cup. Hold up. Hold up.
Let the Lord use
Hold on, wait. Let that liquor. Hold on. Let that. Hold on, wait. All right, I gotta do it again.
Let that liquor.
All right. You know what's up? Pour another in a cup. Let the liquor hold your sentence.
Why you gotta talk?
Why you gotta talk so much? You gotta finish it now.
Not trying to fuss, but I'm in a rush. See you move them lips, but not on this, so you ain't saying much. Like, you feel me? I just wanna get
that was I just wanna feature in Deflo.
Dejlo.
Dejlo,
Why you
yeah.
a lady name like that?
Because Macone a feli o
Ele
mesmo interview ou c'est ou même interview on cause là. All right, let me change it. Dejlo from Detroit. At least I know where she's from.
You know where she from?
Like y'all. I mean, I probably can't. Let me just call her Miss Loaf. Miss Loaf. Hey, sorry. Anyway, so you're watching Music Exclusive TV, and I'm with my Elijah Blake,
yes.
Gemini twin, and we're all.
Let's go.